For this video, I'm going to discuss some of the changes to the invoicing and quote screens. What they've done is they've now added an area to allow you to enter a separate spot on the invoice for a delivery cost. Depending on your business, you may require to add a delivery charge to the invoices or to your quotes, and previously you'd have to put that down here in this section of the invoice, so that when it printed it would naturally appear in this section here. Now, after several requests for the same item, they've now added this into the invoice. If you see here, you've got in the options box you can include a delivery section. So now it's turned off on this invoice. If I click that, it turns it on. I now can enter what my delivery charge is. So let's say it's $25. You'll notice that the total cost here is $840. So if I press enter now, $25, and I press enter, it's now $865. So you can see that it is working. And if I was to print this invoice, this is how it's going to appear now. It adds a separate delivery box down the bottom here, so that this client here knows that I'm charging them for the cost of the items plus a delivery charge, and naturally that's the total cost of the invoice. Very simple. That's now been added to both the quotes and the invoice. Just be aware that if I turn this back off for some reason, it's now off. If I turn it back on, that delivery cost disappears. It goes back to square one again. So why you turn it off, I don't know. Once you've entered it, just remember that. Now they also have a tax box here. For all intents and purposes, most countries at any rate, if you are required to collect sales tax, the sales tax rate that you're required to collect is naturally going to be the same for everything. However, if a delivery charge for whatever reason differs from the normal rate of tax, sales tax, you can actually change that. So just say that wasn't 5%. Let's say I'm supposed to collect only 2% on that, or I might not have to collect anything. I might just click 0. Okay, so say I'm collecting 0. So if you notice here, the sales tax down the bottom here is $41.25. If I press enter now at 0, that's now changed it back to $40. The total cost doesn't change, of course, because it's still $865, but there is no sales tax in that. So you can actually change that if that's required. Naturally, that's also been entered on the no tax invoices, which doesn't have sales tax anyway. And if I do quickly look at that screen, you'll notice that if I add, okay, so if I press this here, you don't get a tax box anyway because it's not required. I think that's self-explanatory. We don't need to go into that any further.